So I'm gonna do this video, and I'm gonna do this video as a warning to fathers. And the unfortunates of this warning is, in the 25 and a half years that I've been doing this, I never had to give this warning about a son. All these warnings are for fathers that have daughters. Now, to put into context the reason as to why I went through this, that I now understand is a warning, is because I am the youngest of the family. And as the youngest of the family, I got to watch all of my brothers grow up and leave the house. And every time one of my brothers grew up and left the house, I was still looking for what we had when we were kids. So because of that, when I had a family, I was thirsty for stability. Let me say that again. I was thirsty for stability. Well, being thirsty for stability means that you're going to be dealing with a woman that is going to feel your thirst and say, yeah, I got him. Whatever it takes, I got him. Whatever it takes, I got him. I don't have to put effort into this. I got him. And in addition to that, you're going to have a daughter that is going to be, that you're going to have a child that you're going to be exposing to a lot of wrong reactions. So what I mean by wrong reactions, in any other incidents, it's a crime. But because you love your child, you're not posting it as a crime. You're not treating it as it's a crime. All right? Very important. People, if you got warrants for your arrest for non-payment of child support, if your license is suspended, we have a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, or if you, in fact, you know somebody that needs to file a bankruptcy, 732-875-9111. Now, putting your arrears in a Chapter 13, excuse me. You cannot put your arrears in a Chapter, you cannot put your arrears in a Chapter 7. You can put your arrears in a Chapter 13 for a reconstruction payment plan. In doing that, they can no longer have warrants out for your arrest or suspend your license. In addition to that, we have our Daddy's House service. Our Daddy's House service is where you use our address. Your mail comes to us, we process your mail for you, and in an email, we'll send you the pictures and tell you how to proceed. It's an excellent service to have. Then there's our family court managing services. We'll manage your case for you. It's almost like Daddy's House, but you're not using the Daddy's House. You're just having your mail come to us. People, there's a lot of, in the last 4 or 5 months, we've been handling a lot of individuals that have a divorce going on. And you need, the biggest things that we found in divorces is that a lot of you fathers, when you go for a divorce, when you go seek out help with an attorney, that attorney will charge you a $6,000 retainer. Well, you don't have that. So because you don't have that, you go at trying to deal with your divorce alone. And in doing that, you miss out on a lot of hearings, court dates, etc. And in addition to that, you have adapted a lot of fears that you think is associated with the court process, when in fact it's just unfortunate negotiations by individuals in the past, their attorneys, etc. So we have our services. It all starts with the consultation, 732-875-9111. Now back what I was saying. A lot of you guys, what you don't understand is you have a lot of you individuals that you are indirectly teaching your child how to be and understand manipulation. So if I tell my daughter we're leaving at 5 o'clock and she is in her room still in the bed at 5:02, I'm gonna say, come on, get up. I told you we was leaving at 5. But if you was going for a job interview and they said be there at 5 o'clock and you're not there at 5 o'clock, you're not getting the job. And that is the unfortunate differences that a lot of you fathers are doing with your children. You're showing them indirectly that the way they want to do things is negotiable, number one. And number two, you're teaching them. And by doing that, you're helping them think that you're a pushover. You could easily be, my friend told me, his daughter told him, I got you wrapped around my finger, daddy. She was like 11, 12 years old when she told him that. So this is the unfortunate that a lot of you fathers are teaching your children, and you don't realize this is something that you're teaching your children. There should be a narrative or a perspective in you as a father to want to teach your child right and wrong. Well, you're not doing a good job of that if you're teaching your daughter you can screw me over. I give you an example where this is coming from. I had a consultation last night, and this guy was like, I text my daughter and she don't text me back. What the fuck kind of love is that? When my daughter did that to me, I cut her cell phone off. But individuals, as I stated in the beginning, a lot of us develop how we interact with people based on our childhood. I interacted with my daughter based on the want for family. So a lot of things was overlooked, and it shouldn't have been. Again, a lot of things were overlooked, and they shouldn't have been. So, is this you? So let's get into it. A woman will have your child do you wrong. A woman will have your child do a reconnaissance on you. A woman will have your child coming around you, taking information based on where you work, who you're with, and to simplify it by saying this, I had never had this happen with a son. I have never had a man in the 25 years I've been doing this. It was, my son came to me and told me what her mother wanted. My son came to me and told me what his mother told him to do. My son came to me, my son would blatantly ask me things and say, because mommy want to know. I've never had an individual, every time, even with my former daughter, everything and all the wrong that her mother wanted her to execute on me, she executed with flawless, accurate precision. She did not question her mother. She said, mommy want daddy over, so I'm gonna help mommy daddy over. Daddy needs a fucking. And for the love of your daughter, listen, we all know women are wicked and evil. Where do you think it starts? Where do you think it starts? I remember, rest in peace, Corey Burrell. I remember my friend Corey Burrell called me up, and this hopefully happened twice in my life. He calls me up, and I answer the phone. And he's like, Smitty, blah, 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 blah. He's going a mile a minute, and I'm like, yo, what's going on in my head? What the? Man, I'm watching my daughter. Man, my daughter doing me wrong. I'm watching. Hey, man, this wicked way the women do. Hey, man, I'm watching it in my daughter. My daughter's trying to trick me. My daughter, and he's just going a mile a minute. A mile a minute. And I had one other individual when his friend died. I picked up the phone and he just mile a minute. La, 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 la. I'm like, yo, okay. I said, what? No, man, she died. I'm like, who died? All that talking. And I still didn't know who the hell he was talking about. And when going back to my friend with his daughter, I said, dog, how the hell could you be saying this about your daughter? I'm saying this in my head. Now, I understand it in full perspective. You guys got to understand, Your daughter ain't special. Your daughter is not special. I don't care what you think. Your daughter is not special. I know what you're saying. Not my daughter. Your daughter too. They are wicked and evil by nature. Excuse me. They are wicked and evil by nature. And the unfortunates of you thinking your daughter is special, not my daughter, that is where the problem lies. The role of a father is supreme logic. The role of a father is to make sure the fundamentals of, and the true fundamentals of development is that development is not being developed. Growth is not being in the wrong direction. You don't want your child growing in deception. You don't want your child growing and being manipulative. And that's what a lot of you fathers are doing with your daughters. You don't have, you're being misunderstood. You really need to understand what I'm talking about here today. Appreciate those thumbs up, y'all. Appreciate those thumbs up. Every night, 8 p.m. and 12 noon, I release a video over here on Dad's Traded for Child Support and Unplugged. Of course, if you come over to Dad's Traded for Child Support and join my membership, I post about three or four videos a day over there. All of my consultations are posted in my membership section, along with exclusive content. You can get on over there, and if you're here on Dad's Traded, become a member, $7 a month. Get down on a get down. All right. So again, a lot of you fathers, you don't understand, and I'm gonna be honest with you. You don't want to understand. You don't. A lot of you fathers, you don't want to understand this narrative. A lot of you fathers, you just love your kids, and for some reason you think, oh, not my kids. Right. Charles Manson's mother said the same thing. Yeah. Charles Manson, his mom said the same thing. Let's be clear. You've seen the stories where the child tells the mother something, and what does the mother say? Okay, we won't tell your father. One thing that I did not accept, and I would not accept, is being the last to know. I will not be an enemy. I was never ever going to be an enemy of my family. Meaning, I was never going to be that dude that the family knows all these secrets and I'm order and everybody was going to be cool with the mother. So I was going to be the enemy. Therefore, I was never going to know anything. That was not going to be the story. And again, and I'm going to say this. Once I realized that my daughter oh wow, okay, right over here. Once I realized that my daughter was playing me, I called her on it. And then 2 weeks later, she did it again, and I said, enough, it was nice knowing you. Haven't seen or spoke to her since, and that was 2009, 27 years ago. I'm sorry, 17 years ago. Not happening. A lot of you fathers, in the midst and in the middle of going through this nonsense, for some reason, you're ignoring a lot of things. A lot of you don't want to put any pressure on your children because you don't want to be the bad guy. You want to make sure your kids love you. Listen, that is a terrible price to pay. That's a terrible price against the development of your children, to help them develop in manipulation. You know your child is doing you wrong. You know your child is manipulating you, but you want to be on some old, I don't want to say nothing because I don't want to be the bad parent. I don't want to say nothing because I don't want my kids to not love me. Let me be clear when I say this. Be clear when I say this. I feel sorry for your children, if that's your perspective. I feel sorry for your children. And I say I feel sorry for your children because I don't know what your perspective is on that lesson, but that's not a good lesson to be teaching your children. That's not. I realize I'm gonna go left when I say this. And again, I appreciate those thumbs up and like and share the video. You may have somebody you know that's out there in this situation, and this is something that they need to hear. But I'm gonna go left when I say this. As a father, you are trying to do one thing as parents. Let me extend it to the mother too. You are trying to do one thing, and that is influence your children. That's all we can do. We cannot make them be the way we want them to be. You can only be an example. And how is that an example when you're allowing your children to be manipulative? You're allowing your children to manipulate you. How is that an example? If your children are manipulative, if your children are not addressing life as they should, but they are addressing life based on the high level of wicked from the mother. A BMW 850, the new one. Oh, okay. That's a nice profile, nice stance. Yeah, I like that. They didn't do too well. So again, how are you being a good father? How are you giving your child the best chance humanly possible to be the best person they can be? I'm gonna tell y'all something. My dad. Okay, let me take it from the beginning because it needs to be told from the beginning. When I was 17 years old, I asked my dad to co-sign a car for me. And my dad, being the arrogant son of a that he was like, well, what are you trying to do, buy a car? I said, yeah. He said, I don't co-sign for nobody. And I thought that was a lot harsh for a 17-year-old kid. I thought that was harsh. I ended up buying a car. And then after I brought the Cadillac, I wrote my dad a letter. Actually, I got this story all wrong. I've been telling this story wrong for years because I didn't mail that letter to my dad until I was in the military. I've been telling people, oh my God. So it wasn't 17 years. Like I was 17, 15 years. Wow. Anyway, I wrote my dad a letter when I was in the military. And I sent it to my grandmama, his mother. And I sent it in an envelope. And I remember I sent the letter and I just mailed it to my grandmother, and I put a cover letter on top of it and said, give this to my dad. But when I mailed the letter, inside the envelope, my grandmother was able to read it because it was not covered up. So she was able to read it. And that's how I wanted it to be. I wanted my grandmother to look at the letter and say, wow. Because I wasn't scared of my father. And I was exactly what he raised. He raised us not to take no junk. He raised us to be a man at everything you do and speak what's on your mind. And that's what I did. So It was just his teachings as it was. So let me go and get this. Be right back. Hear your loud mouth all the way out here, man. You're a loud mouth dog. Quattro, you should make your sister be quiet. All right, I got you 2 treats. Damn, I'm snatching it for her. All right, so as I was saying, a lot of no, I was going there with my dad. So I wrote my dad a letter, and I gave it to my grandmama, and I told her give it to my father. And then I was saying 17 years, but it was actually 15 years later. My dad reached out to my brother, and my brother was like, Chris, Dad want to talk to you. And instead of talk to me, he came up to Pennsylvania, and I remember when he came to my house, and he was like, wow, this house is nice. How much you pay for rent? I said, nah, Dad, I own this. He said, oh, this is the house you own? And when he said that, it told me that he was at least asking about me. And I haven't spoken to my dad in 15 years, and I put the emphasis on that to say this. In the 15 years, I hadn't spoken to my dad. That one day, my dad told me everything. And I mean, my dad told me everything. Everything my dad told me. Everything, you hear me? Everything my dad said. My dad said, I was telling him, because he knew all the stuff that I was going through. And I remember he said, wait a minute, you paying child support? I said, blah, 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 yeah, paying child support. And my dad said, get this house out of your name. He said, put it in me and my aunt. He said, put it in my name or put it in your aunt's name. He said, get this house out of your name. And my dad was talking to me like I talk to a lot of my clients. My dad went into, like sometimes when I be talking to my clients, they get offended at my delivery. And I'm trying to tell you, my dad went full. My dad went full. What the fuck are you doing mode on me? That one day, and he was like, "Get this house out of your name." And then he was like telling me, and I was like telling him all the stuff that was going on. And he said, my dad said, your daughter gonna turn on you. Just the way he talked. He said, your daughter gonna turn on you. I said, nah, Dad, she ain't gonna turn on me. Me and my daughter got a good relationship. He said, no, y'all don't. He said, give your daughter your phone number and leave her ass alone. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? What the hell? I'm like, I said to myself, damn, this dude was dealing with a lot of jacked up ass women. It ain't all. I was the same thing I was saying. What you hear, everybody? It ain't all women. It ain't this, ain't that. You know what? It's the women that. When individuals say it ain't all black women, I know it ain't. But when a woman have to be like that, that's when she'll be like that. Atia LaShawn Bradley did all this stuff to me because she had to do that to me. Because of course, who I was, because the energy that I had. And a lot of fathers say, my child's mom wasn't like that because you wasn't like me. You wasn't assertive. You didn't fight for custody. You didn't put in for custody. Every time a custody battle was put in, you said, I want equal. I want to do that. You never did none of that. You think you did. You didn't. It is amazing to listen to individuals and put in similarities, and there are no similarities. Again, I wrote my dad a letter telling him, and in the letter that I wrote my dad, I said, when I see you, I will call you by your first name. I will never call you Dad again. Why? Because my dad taught me. That was the energy that my dad taught me. Now think about this. Think about you're just starting life. You're just starting life. You don't know if you're going to be homeless next year. You don't know what's going to happen. But you got so much confidence in yourself that you could tell your dad when your life is first starting, I will never call you dad again. This is why at 57 years old, I'll be 58 this year, my dad never gave me a dime. Never helped me live. He gave all of my brothers. He gave his family. He gave everybody. He never gave me nothing. So, again, a lot of individuals, when they hear me try to put this perspective and put this narrative down based on how your child is, I'm telling you, when you have that child and that child decide, I want to start fucking over the father, I want to start doing daddy wrong, I'm going to start that, you better know what you're doing. You better know what you're doing. You better know what you're doing. Yes, your daughter too. Your daughter too. It is amazing to listen to people and you hear the pushback they give you. Yeah, but I just don't want to talk to my daughter like that. I just don't want to. You need to. You need to. You better. You better. You better. Boy, you better. Wow. Wow. Women are wicked by nature. So that means good has to work harder on women than it do boys. Let me say that again. Women are wicked by nature. So what that means is evil is easier with women. Why do you think these women walk around here and, oh, they told us to kick the man out the house. They told us that if we did this to the man, everybody and their mother. This is why you don't leave the daughter anything, because it is expected she's going to go out and fuck it up. It's expected that the woman is going to go out there and find somebody and get that nigger nut and fuck up your family wealth on some fucked up, because that's how easy it is. Anybody can convince a woman to do wrong because they live in a world of wickedness. That's how women are. Your wife, your daughter, just the same. Your mom at one time, just the same. It is amazing to talk to individuals and they come up with all these narratives about how all the women in their family is different. Nope, my daughter ain't like that. Nope, your daughter like that too. Your daughter is like that too. You can help your daughter understand. Why do you think it is said, don't fuck with no woman that didn't have a dad in her life? The reason why we say don't fuck with a woman that didn't have a dad in her life, because she's heavy on the manipulation by women. She's heavy on the trash antics that she was taught from her mother. She's heavy on that. That's why we say that. That's why we say that. You see what's happening? These boys out here that didn't have a father in their life. You see it? You see it. I'm telling you how I am today, my dad. All you hear me screaming is, oh, I will never go broke. I am the way that I am because of my dad. That's what you hear me say. You hear me say that. You don't hear me saying, oh, I tell y'all all the time, I want nothing to do with being me. I am my father. I tell y'all this. This is what I tell y'all. But for some reason, the origins of where all this stuff starts, you want to skip over it because, oh, my daughter ain't like that. What are you doing, Quattro? Lady. Look at this one here. What are you doing? What are you doing, little girl? Are you eating grass? You think you slick. You grass. That's why you went all the way over there. I love bringing them over here and letting them just run around. I tell people the one to me personally, the one place where you mess up at is like my neighbor. My neighbor got like 3 or 4 dogs, man. 2 of them are Great Danes. Yeah, he got 4 dogs, 3 dogs, no 3. 2 Great Danes and this little dog, and they never leave the house. And I tell people, you want your dogs, you want your dogs to be able to run around. You need them to stretch their legs. That's what you want. You want your dogs to run, and you know, you don't want their joints getting all old and their joints getting all their joints getting all where they don't stretch out. You don't want that. You don't want that. I promise you, you don't want that. I remember my other dog, Diamond. That's how she tore her ACL. She just got out the car, started running, and she said, "Ark!" And then I was like, what the heck? I thought she stepped on something. She just got out the car, started running, tore her ACL. Tore her ACL. Okay, come on. Come on, lady. Come on, Quattro. We're going to be out here all day. So back to the topic on hand. Again, y'all. Come on, lady. Come on. Appreciate those thumbs up, man, and share the video, because you probably know somebody out there that got a daughter that's being real sassy, because you know the old perspective of give them an inch and they take a mile. Women are excellent at that. And your daughter, I remember I took my daughter one time. Come on, lady. I remember one time I took my daughter shopping and I said, just get this, and this. Three outfits. My daughter got like 7 or 8 outfits. We standing there on the thing and my daughter got like seven outfits on that thing, shoes and everything. And she's just stiff as a board, waiting for me to say something. And I just said, I ain't gonna say nothing. But that's how women are. That's how they are. The one way that why do you think there's a lot of church girls that go out there, been going to church all their life and pop up with a no good dude? They thirst, they lust. That no good dude is bringing them back up to date on just how much manipulation and bullshit they missed. That's why. So you gotta help your. One thing I used to tell my daughter. I used to tell my daughter. I'm here to tell you show you your weaknesses as a woman. That strong bullshit. That's your mother's gig. I'm here to help you understand your weaknesses as a woman. Come on, let's go. Come on, Quattro. Come on. I love it when they do that. Good boy, Quattro. Good boy. Good boy, little Quattro. Good boy. Lady, stay on your heels, though. I remember one day Quattro was like, I'm not having it, and just went full thruster on her and left her. I was like, wow. Quattro don't go full thruster all the time. Come on. So, again, you fathers out there, you fathers out there that don't want to teach your daughter, you fathers out there that want to go lax. Oh, I don't want to. Here's the biggest reason why a lot of you fathers do what you do. The biggest reason why a lot of you fathers do what you do. The biggest reason, you want your daughter. You're acting like the woman act. You know how mothers don't like to hit the kids, and then they make the father out to be the bad parent because the father is the one disciplining the kids. That's how you don't want to be. You know, if you discipline your kid, they're gonna run back to the mother, and then they don't want to come with you no more. Hey, listen, you will save your child's life by not allowing them to get away with no fuck shit. You will be teaching them, because the worst thing in the world is to have a child with the perspective and the narrative that the world is a fun-loving place and is not forgiving. You got to teach your kids. You have to teach your kids that the world is unforgiving. That's what you have to do. Y'all don't do that. Y'all don't do that. If you got your visitation and you discipline your kid and they tell the mother, you tell your kid, fuck you. The fuck you think this is? That's what you do. In the 25 years I've been doing this, I haven't met one father that wasn't tippy-toeing. Not one. I haven't met one father that wasn't tippy-toeing. Every father that I met was tippy-toeing. So they don't mess around. And all this nonsense, I want my child to come live with me. My child want to live with me. Man, stop all that. Stop all that. Just know that. Just know that. You are the father. You are the order. You are the substance. You are the whatchamacallit. You are the balance. You are the order. You can't go through life and say, oh, I want to swap this out. I want to swap this out. Because I'm going to swap this out for being a lenient dad. And then I'll be talking to my clients and they're like, well, how am I supposed to do that? Well, how this, how that? You're turning your daughter into a devil. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. You are turning your daughter into a devil. That's what you're doing. You're turning your daughter into a devil. You can go ahead and try to act like, oh no, oh no, that's not, oh no, not my daughter. Your daughter. You are turning your daughter into a devil. I'm telling you. And here's the deal. While you're doing all this, you think it's okay. While you're being your daddy, yeah, you doing all that with your daughter, you think that's okay. And it comes off as okay in the beginning. But I am telling you, take it from a person that's been through it. For all you individuals, brand new fathers, and you have no idea about the parallels, and you have no idea of the understandings that come with you thinking that, oh, my daughter is a perfect little cookie, oh, that's my baby, oh, daddy's little girl. Okay, you're turning your daughter into a devil. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. I promise you. I remember when things went south with my daughter and I. For about 3 years, I heard, yeah, but that's your daughter. Yeah, but that's your daughter. Yeah, but that's your daughter. Then I went out on I had a speaking engagement in Times Square, New York. I had a speaking engagement. And I went out there and I spoke. And I had a date. I had a date attached. And in that date that I had attached, I remember, you know what? I'm back at this spot because you backing out of this one, boy. You don't know what the hell. You know what the hell is kickity coming. I had a date, and I remember that woman said, "How old is your daughter?" And I told her how old my daughter was, and that woman said, oh yeah, your daughter knows just what she's doing. And I believe that. But a lot of you guys, you sit up there, and for some reason you think your daughter is just this innocent little gift to life. No. Check your daughter on all the bullshit that she's doing. And of course she's going to tell the mother, and then the mother going to call you up and try to do that, say, we don't do that. We don't do that. I know you want her to be this devil like you, but I'm avoiding that. That's why we going through the shit we going through now, of course, because of how you are. All right? That's what you tell your child's mom. What it gets down to, for real, what it gets down to is, in all true, this being true and being real, this process hurts. A lot of individuals will never ever understand that unfortunate truth. This process hurts. It don't feel different. It's not awkward. It's not messed up. It's not up. It hurts. It hurts. And it doesn't hurt like it's a lot of fathers are in denial. And because a lot of fathers are in denial, that is why a lot of wickedness is unchecked. That's why a lot of wrong is allowed to continue on. Because a father may feel as though, I don't have the right, they stripped me of my father. Okay, I understand that, and that's part of the hurt. But the fact of the matter is, you're talking about an interaction with you and your child. You're talking about an interaction with you and your daughter, which the court's got nothing to do with. Now, you can go ahead and I'm going to tell you the things that I know now is not the things that I would have done, and probably the things that you wouldn't do. But when I back up, and when I told my dad, and my dad said, your daughter is going to betray you, give your daughter your phone number and leave her alone, I wish I would have did that, because I would have taught my family my value. What my dad said on that day was 100% absolutely correct, and I should have listened. And you tell individuals that, because y'all are in the middle of this battle, because y'all are in the middle of the fight, that may not seem like the answer. But take time out. Take time out. Get yourself together. Take time out. Get yourself together and regroup. Listen. I have a perspective and a narrative, and that's the next video. A dad or child support, choose one. And in that perspective, a dad or child support, choose one, I tell individuals, tell your child, Mom, I'm going to give you 30 days to decide if you want me to be in the child's life or you want child support. So I'll see you in 30 days. If it's the 17th, call her the next month on the 17th. If it's the 21st, call her the next month on the 21st and say, you still want child support, or, oh, fuck you. Are you just going to just walk away from your child? No, I'm asking you, you're choosing child support. So, a dad or child support, choose one. Okay, I'll see you in 2 months. I'll talk to you in 60 days. A lot of you guys don't realize the power that you have in being disciplined. You don't realize the power that you have in being stern and being firm. And I'm going to be clear about something. Stern and firm definitely gets recognized on the back end. Get recognized on the back end. I'm going to say this. When I was a kid, and my dad used to come over at 5 o'clock in the morning to get us. Let me back that up. When I was 6 years old, and my dad used to come over in the 70s and pick us up and say, you going to work with me. You making $8 a day. That's what my dad used to pay us to come work with him. $8. When we had off on a school holiday, and when we had off on Easter, when we had off on Christmas holiday, and we had off on Easter holiday, my dad used to say, come to work, you get $8. We used to get $40 a week. $40 a week. In the 70s. I was a six-year-old kid making $40 a week. Look at what that did to me on the back end. I can show you $4,000 today. 100 times that. That's my life. That's my life. That's my life. And I want to be clear. I had no idea I was going to say that in this video. This video is now 51 minutes long. And I said again, I was making $40 a week. 100 times that, I can show you $4,000 in cash today. And that is my life. The origins of that is a man that said, I am going to keep my foot in my children's life. And he did. He did. So this is what $8 a day, $40 a week, back in the 70s, this is what it grew into some 50 years later. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 1, 2, 3, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. 100 times that. So let's look at it from this perspective. The manipulation that you allow your children and your daughter to get away with now, you're going to get that 100 times when she gets older. What my dad gave me, I'm now living in a vast glory of the benefits of that life. Just think about you allowing your daughter to be a manipulative person. Just think about it.